Alright, here we go with another look at some new releases to Dollar Tree's Final Faction action figure line. And so shortly after the last one. No, really, their last wave release was like a month ago. Which, given this toy's infrequent release schedule, is basically like a movie studio releasing the sequel to a movie in the same year they released the original movie. Hey, I'm not complaining. These have proven to be some of my most popular videos, so the sooner I can get another one out, the better. So last time we looked at the Venom line of the Karn, the evil bad guy alien things that are trying to get all of Earth's natural resources, and in this line they have... What did I say happened in the last video? Like, they got symbioted, they got venomized? I don't know, I guess that if this was a full-fledged TV series and these would appear in like season 2 or 3, and yeah, something very similar to Venom would probably happen, like this evil alien black goop would have fallen on Earth and the Karn would have been the first to find it, and they would find that it would make them 10 times stronger and faster and more resilient than their normal forms at the cost of their own intelligence, but hey, they're evil, so of course they'd cover themselves in that stuff. So this is what that venomized line of bad guys would look like in that case. But worry not, because the bad guys are not the only ones to get an upgrade in that season, for in that same season, we would see the rise of... the Final Faction Elite Alpha Team! Yep, this just released. I found practically all the figures just today, just hanging on the shelves, waiting for me. Well, I say all the figures, but there are a couple that technically were released before the main figures here. For example, this one, I've had this in my collection for quite some time. This was what's it called again? The P-131. Yes, this was basically released either early or as a sneak peek to the limited edition Elite versions of the Alpha Team. I found this one with the venomized versions of the Karn that technically weren't supposed to be released yet. So yeah, this one has been hanging around for quite a while. And then there's another one that's technically been released early, but we'll get back to that. But yes, in the same arc where the Karn were venomized, I have a theory that some good alien civilization trying to stop the Venom symbiote type of black goop would contact the Final Faction, and they'd send them on a quest throughout the universe, collecting all these interesting artifacts. And they said that that would be the only thing that would be able to stand up to the black goop. But in the final few episodes, it turns out that the artifacts don't work. But then when all hope is lost, they find out that the artifacts only work through the power of heart, of determination and friendship. And suddenly, boom, they are given a golden makeover that my camera still does not want to focus on. But yes, every character is suddenly decked out in black and gold trim, and a few other parts, as you can see, but we'll get back to that, all showing their heightened sense of power and loyalty, and they are ready to take on the black goop and the Karn once and for all, as the new and improved Final Faction Elite. And maybe they get their own like 4-episode miniseries afterwards to show where all these guys are after the battle with the Karn. I don't know, maybe it would start a whole other season where they travel through worlds with their new forms, fighting ever more powerful intergalactic threats, and maybe in the final few episodes the Karn would return, except they're all one big jumbled mess, one big amalgamation of what they used to be, because they were all merged together by the black symbiote goo, and that would be the final episode to finally destroy the Karn once and for all. Except maybe there would be a couple that decide to be friendly and work with the Final Faction to show that they are giving up their villainous ways, and the series would end with the Karn and the Final Faction living in harmony. Buy all their playsets and toys. But headcanon aside, yeah, once again, we're basically left with repaints of the Final Faction Alpha Team. And yes, this is all the original Alpha Team, well, besides this one, but we'll get back to that. So this is basically wave 1 of the characters, just given a black and gold makeover. And as I went into great detail in my last video, I just wasn't impressed with what they did with the Venom versions of the Karn. I mean, look, it's a brute. Except now it's black and green. It doesn't look any different from the original figure, it's just black and green. technically that gives it even less detail, because especially since they didn't even bother to paint the back. So yeah, wasn't very happy with that. However, I will say that these are slightly better than the Venom versions. What do I mean? Well, like last time, I am not opening these characters. I don't see the point. I don't see the point of taking all these rare limited edition characters out of packaging just to show you what you already know, that they all have the exact same molds, the exact same weapons as the characters. At least I don't see the point in taking the bulk of them out of the packaging, because, like last time, I did get some that I will open, as I will do right now. So let's just put this camera down. Yep, for the purposes of this video and to show you some of these characters in more detail, I have for you a Steadfast and an ACRM. Why these characters? Because they are my favorites out of the line. Why? I will get to that in a minute. For now, let's just open them up. Let's open up the Steadfast. And once again, this hurts my soul having to do this because I am a collector, but what must be done must be done. Just try not to ruin the card backing that much. Yep. And then the ACRM. And there we go. So obviously first, Steadfast. Yep, here is Steadfast, Elite Mode Steadfast. Will he stay Elite Mode for the entire season? I have no idea. Will he stay Elite Mode after he has defeated the Venomized symbiote Karn? I have no idea. But like I said, maybe they could make a whole other season where they are the Elite figures. You know, kind of like Bionicle. You know, Bionicle changes their forms, their basic models, like every other movie, every other comic, whichever media you want to follow. So here's regular Steadfast here, and yeah, it's the same model, just with different paint jobs. Though, I will give them immense credit. I think the gold paint stands out a lot more on these figures than the Venomized Karn. Why? Because they actually use the gold paint to enunciate some of the features. Look, he has a nice gold belt, some gold ammo clips there, gold knee pads, gold zipper. Once again, my camera hates zippers apparently, and a gold collar and gold shoulder pad. And, well, once again, oh, no, they even put a little bit of detail on the back. Ooh, that's already one up to the Karn. Would you focus? If anyone out there wants to sponsor me a better camera, then now's your chance. So yeah, a much more flashy model than, you know, Mr. Monochrome here. No, basically Mr. Monochrome Camo, if that's even a thing. I gotta admit, not as much detail in the face. There we go. Not as much detail in the face as the original. I mean, look. I know that I complained about the paint job when I first featured these figures, but yeah, barely any paint. He has just little teeny eyes, little eyebrows, and I was going to say that he shaved his beard a lot, but no, I think his beard is actually a little more messy. In fact, he's growing hair out of places that he shouldn't be growing hair. You know, everywhere except the top of his head where it should be growing. And yes, you've probably noticed it by now, his crystalline cyborg arm. This is my favorite part. This is what encouraged me to buy this figure in particular, because they actually went to the trouble of molding some accessories and some parts of the figures in semi-translucent plastic. So what is that, like 3 points already for the Elite figures against the Venomized Karn? Just the fact that they took the effort, took the design to make something different with these figures and not just paint them gold and black. I am already blown away by just how well these are molded. Well, I say molded, but they're the exact same mold, but designed. They actually took their designs and did something with them. That is what I'm trying to say. So now Steadfast can take his crystalline arm, and in battle with the Karn, it can shatter to bits immediately upon impact. I don't know. Why does media like to depict crystal as harder than steel? Because it's not. You know, even if you strike a diamond in the wrong place, then it's going to shatter on impact. So I don't know. Or maybe it's a pure energy arm. Yeah. It's not even physical, at least most of the time. He like pushes a button and just this pure plasma arm shoots out of his shoulder, and he can grab things with it, or he can make it not solid, and it can pass through walls. And the more I talk this up, the more I want to see this series. I don't think the series is going to go, the current series that they have on YouTube that they're releasing episodes for sparingly, I don't think it's going to go in this direction, but I wish they would. I really do. And speaking of semi-transparent and crystalline, we have the ACRM. And yeah, if you thought Steadfast's arm was snazzy, well, practically the entire figure is made out of that semi-translucent plastic, except in this case, it's yellow, or golden if you want. And yeah, once again, it's basically the exact same thing as the original figure, but yeah, once again, they did use the gold paint to accentuate some details, so you get a better view of the eyes and the little headband up here, the mouth, chin piece, whatever, which doesn't even look like that was colored on the original figure. The front strap there, the front line, the little legs, and I don't know what any of these are called, I'm just pointing stuff out, but yeah, huge step above just taking some parts of the Karn and coloring them green, or just taking the figure and molding it black and then spraying some green paint here and there. Because they actually took the paint and they made it mean something. Not as much detail on the back. So can we see through this plastic? How visible are things through this plastic? Not very. You can tell that there's something there. It's just you can't really make it out, but I don't know. And, you know, like with Steadfast, maybe this is like an almost entirely energy-based ACRM, like the original model was destroyed in combat, but the universal protector guardian race that's like billions of years old and can master any and all energy type technology, they built them a new ACRM that's basically just the body, and then when put in action, it can shoot out, it can project the arms and legs and head in pure energy. And then, like I say, it can do everything that Steadfast's arm can do. You know, it can walk through walls, or it can short out electronics, or, you know, cool stuff like that. Stuff that's probably not in the show's budget, especially if this was made in the 80s and 90s, as this line is an homage to. Actually, looking at this, the more I look at this, the more this reminds me of Gold Cyborg from the Teen Titans. Yeah, with the form that he took when he was... Oh, it was either during or after Teen Titans The Technus Imperative, that big crossover event they had. And like Cyborg became this all-seeing, all-knowing being, but then he got returned to his regular body, except it was molded in gold. That's what this reminds me of. I don't know, maybe it is a gold ACRM. And after they're done fighting the Karn, maybe then they can sell it and buy Maine. And then they can retire and eat lobster for the rest of their lives. So there you go. That's an up-close and personal look at some of these figures. So let's quickly go through the other figures. So we got Steadfast here, like I said. We already went into detail with him. And then we have Shift. Shift has a gold boob placement, and she has gold highlights in all the wrong places, I'll tell you that. But her swords are golden and can hopefully be taken out of her harness. I will never live that down, will I? Though honestly, what's the point of gold swords? Gold is a very soft metal, so if she tries to use them against, like, your normal mechanoid, then they're just going to break in half, probably. I don't know why gold is always depicted as just the best metal in any weaponry whatsoever. I mean, it's always like either the top or the second to top tier of weaponry in every single video game ever made. So, I don't know. Realms of Fantasy. And then here is Steel. Yep, he has gold highlights for his straps there, his weapon straps, and his wrists. And, ooh, he's given like, let's see, can we get a better look at that? Yeah, he's given like transparent glasses, like sort of updated cybernetic glasses. Ooh, I like that. I like that. They didn't have to... Oh, they're kind of golden as well, but ooh, I like that. I like it. It's kind of like Google Glass, except it works. And he has transparent wings, which, yes, I'm just gonna go all out and I'm gonna say that these are energy-based wings. He just pushes a button and zoom, there's these solid energy wings that he can make pop out at any time, so he doesn't need to worry about his mechanical wings getting shot down. And then we have Ruck here. He has... I'm very professional, I know, but yes, he has some, well, technically in this case, he might have less detail because, he has like battle damage on his main figure here. He has like camo that, he's clearly been through a lot of fights, and on here, he's much more clean. Like he has a gold highlights on his chest plate here and his belt, a couple on his wrists, so a little more color, a lot less detail. But like I say, these are like the more powerful, clean versions of these characters, so yeah, he would have to sacrifice his battle damage in order to be this all-powerful being that can fight galactic terrors without breaking a sweat. And yeah, he has his shoulder cannon, again made of gold, and his ammo pack, which again is made out of gold. And then we have the ACRM here. Again, we went over that. So, and then here we have the interesting addition to this line. This is the P-131 automated drone, and this was not originally released in the Alpha Team. This was not originally part of Series 1. This was released later as Series 2, as Alpha Team 2, is that what it was called? I don't know. But yes, technically, I think this was given the most detail out of all of them. Can we get a better shot of that? Can we get no, not in the plastic. No, I'm almost tempted to open it. Almost, but I won't. No, I won't. So I don't know why they decided to add this to the first line. I'm thinking that they're going to be releasing the other Final Faction figures in gold in their limited edition Elite line, so I don't know why they decided to add the P-131 to the first Alpha Team series. And I know for a fact that this was intentional, like they didn't release this figure early because on the back of most of the Elite cards, it shows Steadfast, Shift, Steel, Ruck, ACRM, and P-131. So for some reason, they decided to release Series 2 with Series 1. I don't know, more robot representation, I guess. But I get the idea that they are going to be releasing more gold figures because on the back of this P-131 card, well, there's more characters. Yeah, this is, I don't know, this might be an earlier prototype image that they just accidentally included on the P-131, which, like I say, I don't know if they accidentally released the P-131 early or if I just got it early. So maybe one day we will get Wave 2 featuring Churro, Scope, Torn, Amari, Riptide, and, well, we already have that one. I don't know, but of course I do know that when they do release that, then I will be featuring it here. I will be making another video of that. And while I was busy being excited about Steadfast's new look, I did forget to put on his helmet to give him his gun, so here you go. He has his helmet to hide his face for absolutely no reason. I don't know, maybe it's like steel and it's an upgraded version of his specs or something. And the gun, the machine gun, which will probably fire about 30 rounds and then melt right in his hands. Because if I haven't made it clear yet, gold is not a good metal to make weapons out of. Well, I guess the best thing to do now is to go through all the cards, compare them to the original cards, and see if there are any differences. So I'm just going to sit my camera down here because I'm tired of holding it. So let's see. Here's Steadfast. Here is original Steadfast. And let's see if there are any differences. Well, kind of like the Venom cards, it's not like a solid picture. Instead, it's the concept art, but it's transparent and fading into the background. I don't know what that effect is officially called. I just say that it's a background image. And yeah, besides all the other slight graphical tweaks to the back of the card, they did change one thing. So on this one, it says the Steadfast lost his left arm and was gravely injured during the first Karn raid. And on here, they just shortened it to lost his left arm. I don't know. Maybe the gravely injured part was deemed too graphic by parents, I don't know. Or they had to slightly shorten the description in order to put the weapon of choice back here. Which, I don't know, will we get accessory packs that are decked out in limited edition elite gold molding? I don't know, I guess that's something else we'll have to watch for. But yeah, his weapon of choice is that he loves the damage potential and range of his maglev railgun that fires high-speed projectiles with deadly accuracy. Was that what it said on the accessory pack? I do not remember. I'm sorry, I don't have those cards on standby. So, now that we know that there are a couple changes on the cards, let's go through the others. So here we have Shift's card. Here's the original, here's the Elite, and same design aesthetics as the Steadfast. Yeah, they took away the last sentence there. It says there has yet to be anyone who can challenge her skill, but that's missing from the back of the limited edition Elite. Once again, I guess they had to trim it down slightly in order to give her the weapon of choice, which is Shift has a wide array of bladed weapons, but her favorite are her dual katanas, deadly family heirlooms passed down for generations. And once again, I hope that's not what they meant. I hope the gold swords are not what they meant, because she will strike one blow with them and they will shatter in her hand. You know, such is battle. For steel, let's see. Now that's interesting. They left the text mostly untouched, except instead of saying he's the team's greatest asset, he's an unparalleled asset. I don't know, maybe once again parents were getting upset that their kids were joking about him being the greatest asset. Though I don't know, an unparalleled asset doesn't exactly sound any better. And yeah, his weapon of choice is the DZ Flight Pack, which houses a mini turbine engine and collision detection sensors, and it's his favorite way to ruin the Karn's day. No mention about his new glasses there? Yeah, maybe he hasn't figured out how to use them yet. For Ruck here, yeah, they really edited this one. Instead of saying he specializes in ground artillery, it says that he just specializes in artillery, you know, all artillery everywhere. And suddenly these two sentences about ground artillery and heavy weapons are suddenly one sentence. And they remove the fact that he's born in the cold valleys of Austria, but he still has a warm heart and is very competitive with his friend Steele. I don't know, I guess people born in the cold valleys of Austria cannot realistically have a warm heart and be very competitive with anyone named Steele. You know, just ask Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to read his weapon of choice here, which is that he has arms of Ares, four-armed mounted miniguns that make him feel like a god of war. I'm sure we all want to feel like Kratos at some point or another. Now, ACRM here. Yeah, they shortened virtual reality tech to VR tech. And instead of a helmet and special suit allows piloting of the mech via a modular system, it just says remotely piloted via a modular VR system. It did keep in the part that it's piloted by Boyd, a 15-year-old disabled boy, you know, gotta make that clear, gotta make that painfully obvious. And its weapon of choice is the Efflux Blaster that is used frequently by Boyd to stop synthoids and crawlers in their tracks, making them easy targets. Yeah, you want power? Then install a BFG on this thing. And no, not Bioforce gun, the other thing. And finally, we have the P-131. And on this one, well, the main body of text is completely the same. The P-131 drones were developed and built by Boyd, blah, 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 blah. But for some reason, they changed, in the weapon of choice, they changed that the thrusters give the drone added mobility to get to those hard-to-reach areas. They changed it to give the drone added mobility in difficult terrain. Again, maybe moms were getting really upset that their kids were sniggering at the fact that this robot can get to hard-to-reach areas. In fact, I just made myself snigger. And in case you were wondering, no, there is no difference between the P-131 drone card that was released before everything else and the cards that were released later, except for the lineup. So I don't know, maybe we will get a Series 2, maybe we won't. We will just have to see. And there you go, that is the new lineup of the limited edition elite versions of the Final Faction team. What else could you possibly ask for? Absolutely nothing. Except their own set of wheels. Yep, just like the Venomized Karn, the Final Faction Elite team also get an upgraded version, by which I mean repainted version, of their Aero ATV battle cars. And this is the other thing that technically released earlier than the Elite figures. This technically came out around the same time as the earliest Venom Karn figures. I mean, not as early as the ones that I showed in that video way back when, but when they were first officially available at Dollar Tree. Just along with the Venom Karn's vehicle, they also released the Elite version of the Aero ATV. Why they decided to release that then, I have no idea. I think it was on purpose. I don't know. But before we put it together, I have here the original packaging for the original Aero ATV, so might as well do what we did with the figures and the cards and see if there are any differences. Well, besides the color schemes obviously being changed, and of course them adding the gold edition to the limited edition stuff, they removed this little blurb here. They removed the weapons and armor battle ready conversion kit. I don't know, maybe it was just redundant because we already have what you just saw. And on the side here, we just have your regular copyright data, nothing to report. On this side, the bottom down here is basically the exact same thing. It's a little less obvious that these are windows. And on the top here, they just removed the Battle Ready conversion kit from here and instead replaced it with Gold Edition and put the little pieces in a different order and made them slightly larger. And then on the back here, which is a little harder to show because the little flaps here were getting in the way, it's basically the exact same thing. Exact same power stats, exact same description, exact same accessories, though while these are the same, these are a little bit reorganized. Though the text here is in a different order, which is good because obviously on the original they have the accessories listed in a different order than the text, whereas on here they actually have them in the same order as the accessories listed here. And for some reason they only say automatic artillery for the guns, whereas this actually says automatic artillery guns. I don't know, like I say, I'm impressed that they're able to get away with calling these things guns on these figures, in an anti-gun age. So maybe that was just an instance of saying one gun too many. Even though it's obviously still listed up here, and even on the re-release. Alright, I think we got a good tour of the packaging, so let's open her up and see what else we can say about it. Vroom! I forgot how hard these were to put together, but yep, here you go. This is the Elite version of the Aero ATV. And, well, it's much of the same. It's basically the exact same model, only slightly more gold. I will give it credit. That it's kind of molded with a different kind of plastic. It's that plastic that has a shine to it, and it's almost transparent, but not quite. It's less transparent than that, but it's still slightly see-through if you really try to look through it. I don't know how to fully describe it. That's just how it looks to me. But yep, it's a gold version of the Aero ATV. See, here's my personal model, which I've taken to calling my little gunny one. Get it? Gunny one. Ha 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 ha. I'm the wittiest comedian in the universe. But yeah, comparing these side by side, it's the exact same model. Except the guns are black, and the wheels are black, the inside is black, and the outside is gold. Heck, technically, the gold one, the Elite version, is technically more monochrome than this one, because the chassis here, or the cage, whatever you want to call it, they at least molded it in green on the original, whereas this one, it's gold. Those are the only two colors on the Elite vehicle. It's gold and black, end of story. But yeah, looks much more shiny, looks more epic. I really don't have that many complaints because it's the exact same vehicle, and I did go on record saying that the regular vehicle is probably my favorite accessory in the entire Final Faction line. At least I think that's what I said. I am too lazy to go back to that video and find out what I said, but I'm saying right now that I really do love the Aero ATV. So then now that we have a gold ATV, we can knock the regular Steadfast over there, and we can put this camera down as first. So we can take Elite Steadfast here, and we can put him in the driver's seat. Hopefully, without breaking anything. I broke something. Good enough. And then we can reattach the headlight or mirror, whatever it is, back onto the car. Yep. We can readjust him again. Yep. And then because I don't want to open up any of the other Elite figures, and because the Elite ACRM here doesn't fit on anything, we can just take the regular steel and we can put him on the back here. Yep, and now he's ready to fire them guns. And there you go. If that's not a battle-ready Elite fighting force ATV, I don't know what is. Though Steadfast here kind of looks like he's passed out. Too many cookies before battle, probably. But yes, the vehicle can now zoom off to fight crime. Hey, look, there's crime. There's crime right over there. Oh, okay. Zoom! And crime was never heard of again. And there you have it, the new line of limited edition Elite Final Faction action figures, now available at any Dollar Tree near you. Well, I say any Dollar Tree, but who knows, maybe my Dollar Tree was the first one to get these figures, and then these figures aren't going to show up for anyone else for like 3 months. I mean, that was the case with the first figure, so who knows? I might just be the luckiest man in the universe. Nah, I know that's not true. But in general, what do I think about this line? I mean, if I really hated the Venom versions of the Karn, then I really must not care for this line that much, do I? Actually, I think I would rank this set at probably the same level, if not maybe slightly lower than the original figures. I mean, yes, it's the exact same color scheme approach as the Venom Karn. In fact, let's just get one of those in here again to demonstrate. So yeah, here's the Venomized Karn. This is Crepitus, and he has green highlights in some places, but he's mostly coated in black. And that's about all the imagination that went into the Venomized Karn. But the Elite Final Faction, well, it is basically 2 colors. It's basically mostly monochrome. However, it is helped greatly by the fact that they didn't just color the entire figure in gold and black. I mean, for one thing, they kept the heads. I mean, that probably wasn't that much of a feat because they probably had the regular heads just sitting around that they could attach to the bodies. And the gold is used well. The gold is used to accentuate certain parts of the body, certain parts that they would want to draw attention to because they're their weapons or their muscles, or, you know, they just make their bodies stand out more, make them more interesting to the collector. Make kids want to buy them more because they look all the more muscly and awesome and like they're on a whole other level of superhero, like they're intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic. And like I pointed out, they took it an additional level and they molded some of the parts of the figures and some of their accessories in translucent plastic. So they look like energy weapons or energy constructs. And I just think that's awesome. I think that's incredible to have with these figures, which, as I need to constantly remind you, are only $1.25 at a Dollar Tree. If you saw these at any other store, they would run you $5-6 at least. In fact, these limited edition versions would probably be double that and would only be on the shelves for like 3 months. I mean, I don't know how long these limited edition figures will be on the shelves, but Regardless, there is just so much more creativity to what they gave the characters. They are not just the same molds in green and black. They are the same molds in black and gold, but also in translucent and shiny. And I mean, like I said, the Aero ATV here almost looks translucent, but not quite. Like it's made out of a completely different plastic than everything else. So they really did put their thinking caps on. They really did look at what they had, the very minuscule budget and materials that they had, and they said, let's take this to a whole new level. Let's give them something that they've never seen before that really stands out and that people would want to collect. Let's give them a reason to collect these. Let's actually change up some stuff. I mean, like I pointed out, my favorite figures are Steadfast here with his energy crystal arm, and ACRM here with his golden crystallized energy weapon body thing, whatever you want to call it. And everyone else, I have no complaints. They're basically the original figures, but the original figures are awesome. I have grown to really appreciate this line. So if you see these at your Dollar Tree, if you see them right next to the regular figures, yeah, go ahead and pick them up. The Venomized Karn over there, I think you could take or leave. But I think you would be missing out if you didn't pick these up at your Dollar Tree. So find a place that's selling the whole line. I mean, I was lucky enough to find a place that was selling the whole line. I don't know, maybe you have to go to several Dollar Trees to find all these figures. But find them wherever you can, except on eBay, because eBay is horribly overpriced with scalpers. And complete your Final Faction collection today. The power is yours to buy cheap plasticky action figures that will probably fall apart within an hour if you actually give them to any kids. But if you're a rabid collector, as I unfortunately am, yeah, I think these will be important staples to your collection. You know, given the standards of the Final Faction action figures. Which are very high, I will give them that. Anyway, I am rambling now, so I think that's all that I can say about this line. I think we have completely covered everything, and there's nothing else I can do. Except one thing! For you see, because the Karn have a much more powerful upgraded vehicle as well, we must have a vehicle off! Yes, two of the most powerful vehicles in the universe must face off to determine who will triumph. Who will walk away with all the energy or whatever the Karn are after? Is it energy? I think so. This is the final battle of the Final Faction, and it all ends here. Karn, you blankety blanks! For too long we have fought your tyranny over the earth. For many, many years we have repelled every attempt you have made to drain the earth of its energy. And while you have gotten stronger, we have also gotten stronger. And now, in our elite forms and you in your Venom forms, we cannot get any more powerful. Therefore, this battle will be the final one to determine who reigns supreme over the universe. That's how Venomized Karn talk, you know. You kiss your queen mother with that mouth? Well, this is it. We have attempted peace with you many, many times, but you want war, so this will be the final war. How about you? Right, that is it. Limited edition Elite Aero ATV, away! Hey guys, what's up? Well, that's the way it's gonna be. And there you have it. The way to stop an intergalactic war is to bring out your long out-of-print Mega Bloks buildable Spider-Man figure and place him directly in the center of the action. Neither side will win, but neither side will lose either. And that, in my opinion, is true victory. Now, normally I play out-of-context clips from the most recent Final Faction cartoon at the end of these videos, but I already used them all in the last video, so, By all the places